Will you please welcome Ju Gosling?
I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, how long has she been in that chair? How many years has it been? I could tell you half an hour. I get nervous before performing. I could tell you, I'm like every other wheelchair user. I get out of my chair to sleep, get in a car, chill out on the sofa, or, like half an hour ago, to use the loo. Like 95% of wheelchair users, I can walk a bit too, though not after sitting for hours in the same position, of course. Could you? But you won't accept that, will you? No, because once we use a chair, we're confined to it. If you see us getting out of our chairs, you either think it's divine intervention or that we're lying when we say we need to use them. I've read newspaper reports that say she's been in a wheelchair for 25 years. Do you really believe that's true, just because you read it in the papers? Do you really think that it's possible? Do you think that I'm some kind of cyborg, permanently bonded to the technology, that I take my wheels to bed with me? Or that I don't go to bed at all, I just sleep in the chair? Is that why you think I'm asexual, genderless? Is that why the loos are divided into men, women, and disabled? Are you enjoying looking at me? Didn't they teach you not to stare, to look away in case you catch something? Because I can be invisible, you know. I have special powers. My chair comes fully equipped with an invisibility cloak. Picture the scene. I'm out and about, red crew cut, silver boots and all, yet no one can see me. Everyone seems to be looking at something else, but if they do look in my direction, they seem to see straight through me. I can't see the invisibility cloak myself, obviously, and I certainly didn't order it along with the flashing wheels, but it must be there because what other explanation can there be? It can cause problems when I'm trying to get through crowds, of course, but after a few difficult experiences, I came up with the solution. I was 40 last year. I wanted to go to Paris for the day to celebrate, along with my lover, friends and PA. And Eurostar advertised a special offer for wheelchair users. I soon found out what was special about it. What was special about it was it cost more than you'd have to pay. They didn't provide wheelchair spaces in second class. I could have a discount on 2 first-class tickets for me and my PA, but it still cost more than travelling second class. And my lover and friends would have to pay full price or travel separately, which is not much of a birthday when you're spending half a day on the train. Surely that's discrimination, I said. No, they said. It's a special offer. A special offer, especially for disabled people. Because we have special needs, you know. We're so special that we don't have access requirements like everyone else. And surely you're breaking the Advertising Standards Act, I said. Because surely a special offer is usually cheaper, not more expensive. No, they said. It's a special offer on first-class travel. We don't have wheelchair spaces in second class because there aren't any emergency exits. Now, in some ways, that was comforting. Because international aviation regulations forbid disabled people from sitting in aisle seats or by emergency exits in case we stop non-disabled people from escaping in an emergency. We're officially designated to be left to die whenever we fly. But it didn't get me any further forward with my travel plans. So, undeterred by the thought of burning to death in the Channel Tunnel along with the so-called able-bodied, and completely unable to afford the special offer, eventually I said to Eurostar, I said, OK, I'll leave my chair in the luggage rack, then we can all go second class. So the guy says to me, I have to ask you this, are you wheelchair bound? I think you'd be very hard pushed to find someone bound to a wheelchair outside of a sex club, I said. I'm sorry? Can you repeat that? He said, I think you'd be very hard pushed to find someone bound to a wheelchair outside of a sex club, I obliged. He was so embarrassed, I got my second-class tickets after all. But it's daft, isn't it? Do you really see our seatbelts and safety straps as bindings? Do you really see my wheelchair as confining rather than liberating me? Or do you think we're so dangerous we shouldn't be let out without being restrained? Is that why I'm denied full human and civil rights? Do you find me threatening? What is it about the chair that scares you? Do you have a problem with leather? The invention of the wheel is generally referred to as the most important scientific development in human history. It's even fundamental to computer technology. Where would we be without the disc? We respect the wheel so much that we use it as a metaphor for control, wealth generation, fortune, life. And when there have been wheels, there have been wheelchairs. The Greeks had a word for it. Just don't ask me to say it. Wheelchair technology is an age-old technology, fated in the days when to be invalid was seen as romantic, desirable, something to celebrate. These days, our admirers are confined to the fetish clubs, but the technology continues to soar. The technology has had a few hiccups, sure. There was a period after the Second World War when all chairs were ugly, medicalised, and designed to make the user almost completely dependent on someone else. Things got better once they started making us pay for our chairs again, though, and there's no such thing as a free wheel. I used to have an NHS self-propelling chair myself. I couldn't move in it, my PA couldn't lift it. So I phoned up the wheelchair service and said, I thought I asked you for a lightweight chair. Yes, they said, everyone does, so we don't supply them. Perhaps the free chairs that take away our freedom are meant to punish us. After all, you use the language of punishment to describe me, being forced to use a wheelchair, being confined to it. But what is my crime? Have I failed to get better, the way science promised that I would? Have I sinned against God, as so many religions believe? Is my body, unlike yours, less than perfect? Do you still believe in Plato and the very concept of physical perfection? Have centuries of science taught you nothing? Or are you happier striving for the impossible? Are you happier believing in the 19th century scientist fairy? The one who was going to find out the meaning of everything and then control it. The one who's going to cure all ills and give you eternal life. The one who, 150 years of history to the contrary, is nonetheless going to come through for you. Is that why you have a problem with me? Am I the one who destroys your belief in fairies? Surely not.